Hello friends, old and new. Connie here with Canyon City Creations. I am so sorry that I didn't put a video out last week, but this is a new little camera that I'm using. I spent the time getting a lot of projects done. You're seeing some of that right now. These are the little magnets that I make, and they come in a set of 6. I do custom orders like colors if you'd like. If you have a color scheme you'd like, I can do that, but they come in a set of 6. And I did get some coasters made, and I figured out how to use my new Ape Man camera. It's not a GoPro, it's an Ape Man little camera that I got a great deal on. We'll see how that looks when I post this one today. But I also organized my studio, got things cleaned up a lot. Spent some time on the computer here editing, learning how to use my video editor a little bit better, exploring it a little bit more, so that when this video does come out today, it's hopefully a lot better quality than the first 3. So let's talk about the coasters I've gotten done. So these are just some spring floral types of coasters that are finished. So I had them wrapped up, I photographed them, getting ready to list them on Etsy. But I just wanted to give you a quick peek to see what they look like. I thought these were kind of cool, really pretty looking. Some of my whites sank a little bit too much, but I still think they're pretty cool looking. They are corked and signed by me. So those are for sale as well. Those will be listed on my Etsy page and probably Facebook as well. So I think they turned out pretty cool. So the Letterman's Jacket series. So all I've done here is, if you remember, if you were in sports or anything in high school or college, you got a Letterman's jacket, and your letter usually looked like the one you're seeing here. That's a D for Denver Broncos, a blue and orange coaster that I did. This is just for the sample. And it's just a little chenille patch that you put in there. And I did some alcohol inks and, sorry about the ring light, guys. Some glitter with my epoxy resin. And I did a set of 4. These are Colorado Rockies, and I noticed that the C was a lot darker than the R, and the closer I looked, I realized that it's saturated. It's like it got really super saturated. I don't know what caused that, and it didn't happen with the R's, but I think I might have a solution. I still have to trim up the cork around the edges so that it's not sticking out. And then those will be for sale if somebody really wants them, if you like them, but I'll probably sell them at a discounted price. So my solution, and I'll next week's video I'll let you know how it turned out. I'm thinking I'll take the little patch and some Scotch Guard like I'm showing here, and spray the patches down first and maybe give them 2 or 3 coats, and then try to put them in the resin and see if that protects them from looking so incredibly saturated. So that is where we stand with that. Okay, moving on to my project, one of the art projects I did this week. And I sped things up a little bit so I don't bore you to death with the entire process, but that is a 13-inch mold and some 5-inch coaster molds. So I'm going to be making a bowl and some matching little sauce or dip cups. This could be used for chips or salads or really just about anything, maybe just decoration. You could put some decorative filler in it. But in this process, I go through the steps on how I made this one. This is a pink and blue floral starburst kind of a pattern. And I could have mixed the glitter in with the glue, or excuse me, not the glue, the epoxy resin, and then poured it around the edges, and it probably would have helped prevent a lot of the scatter that's headed toward the center there. But I kind of wanted it to be a little haphazard, a little bit. I wanted the edges to be really sparkly, so I didn't want it to be perfectly uniform. So sit back, enjoy this little video of how I made this set, and I'll show you at the end how they turned out. And now on to some other projects and more sets like this that I made this week. Alright, finished product on all the little bowl sets. So here is the pink and blue Starburst floor. As you can see, I made 2 more bowls in blue. I didn't show that in the video, but I did make those. And I did not paint an edge around it. I left it just with the glitter because I like that. And then I did kind of a more aquatic poolside kind of colors with some gold. And I really like this one. This is a deeper bowl. It's not as shallow as the other 2. But I do really like it. I think they turned out really, really pretty. Everything is food safe, by the way. I think this one might be my favorite. It's very subtle, light, understated. It's kind of pretty. I really like the way the little bowls turned out. A lot more striations than the big bowl did. I was a little disappointed about that, but it's still really, really pretty. So those are the finished products. Now, I did do another one. I tried to do a 4th of July theme because we got summer coming up. And this is supposed to be like a firework. It might be kind of hard to tell with all of the glare. But yeah, it's supposed to be a firework. I know what my mistakes I made. There's too much transparent areas. And it's how I applied my alcohol inks and the glitter. I should have done that differently. So I'm going to try this one again. That's why I didn't make any coasters for it yet. And I also have kind of a red, white, and blue themed vase that I'm going to be doing as well. So, but those are the projects. I hope you like some of the coasters that I made, the purple geodes, the little beachy coasters. I thought they were all pretty cool looking. I'll also show you the wine bottle stoppers that I was working on in this video, on next week's video. And then I'm going to be doing a very large painting, a 24 by 30 galaxy type of painting, so I'll share that with you next week. And also share with you how I detail some of my little magnets and wine bottle stoppers. But until then, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week, have a happy, artful life, and I'll see you next time.